gun laws and strategies deal with mental health. But one of the parents, in being interviewed about this, said very simply, "What are we prepared to do to protect our children?" And then I realized when I heard that Molly had said the same exact thing, hammer of justice. It directly echoed what she was saying throughout the book. And I thought, all right, maybe I need to go back to this and maybe I need to write it. So guns have been an obsession of mine in my work anyway. And I didn't really realize I was obsessed with guns in my work until after Sandy Hook. When that happened, I went back looking at my plays and I realized that in every one of my plays, especially the ones that had been produced, there was a gun in it in some way, some form. In fact, I wrote an essay for a theatrical online journal called Howl Round, like Howl at the Moon, Howl Round, called The Guns in My Plays. And so, you know, and I thought I was writing about family. I mean, if anybody asked me, what do I write about? I do write about social or global events, but always through the lens of family. I don't really think I'm writing about gun violence. In fact, the play that I'm writing now is called Take My Hand and Wave Goodbye. That's about the aftermath of a shooting and the impact on a family. So my focus is always on a family. But the obsession with guns, I actually see it more as saying something more about the society that we're living in than about myself. So anyway, this was a personal connection for me, personal and emotional way about how I've been feeling about the prevalence of gun violence in our society, and then the buildup of nuclear weapons. And in light of Sandy Hook, I could viscerally understand what Molly was trying to do, and what she was prepared to do to protect our children. And it was nothing short of nuclear disarmament. So that question stayed with me. Getting back to the process of adapting. In any story, like looking at Hammer of Justice and the events that Molly participated in, there are a million stories to tell in there. So, but you have to find your story in that one. And before I begin, I always have to ask myself, where do I and my main character intersect? I related to so much of Molly's life. I mean, okay, I was not going to take action in the Plowshares 8. I was not going to hang on a nuclear warhead. I was not going to jail. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I'll write a play, but I'm not going to go to jail. But I admire people who can do that, right? But I also come from a big Irish Catholic family in Queens, New York. And I understood Molly's family. This was my tribe. I understood these characters. I was the oldest of 6 children, so my mom had 6 kids. And I'm a mother of 2 girls, so I responded to Molly's life in those ways. Usually the main character of a play is the character who changes the most. In this case, Molly makes a decision to act in the play. That's sort of her through line. But she pretty much knows she's going to do it from the beginning. No one's going to dissuade her from what she's going to do. So her arc of change is not really that big. But there was another character in the play that had a longer journey towards change, and that was Bill, Molly's husband, Bill Rush. He was faced with a wife deciding to do something he couldn't really fathom. He struggles with this throughout the play, and yet he decides by the end to stick by her and ultimately support her. So in these they became 2 competing narratives in my play. Molly's story and then Bill's version of the story. In many ways, Bill was having to face that he couldn't control his wife. And this was changing the nature of the way he saw his marriage, or his marriage was changing. And marriage in general was changing at that time. So I really saw the story as one about marriage. And in many ways, for me, even though it is about the political action that Molly took, for me, the play is really a love story between Molly and Bill. excerpt now. I'm going to read from near the beginning of the play. I'm going to talk a little more after reading it. I'll read a couple excerpts before I'm done. So this is at the top of the play. Molly's trying to explain to Bill what she's about to do. It happens in mid-argument. Molly speaks first. Because we think we can win, that's what first strike means. What? First strike, it means the government believes we can win a prolonged, limited nuclear war. That doesn't make sense. We have so many bombs on both sides now. We can wipe each other out many times over. Mutually assured destruction, that's deterrence. I know what deterrence is. But now these first strike weapons are unbelievably accurate. Listen to me, Bill. Our missiles are pointed at their missile silos. So we plan to hit them first. Wipe out their weapons so they can't fight back. The only reason to do that would be to start a nuclear war. That's not going to happen. Both sides don't want it. The shift in policy has been in place since the 70s, but in July, Carter signed the Nuclear Targeting Directive. They've got pre-planned attack options targeting urban centers. It's not going to come to that. Launch on warning. That means the military can launch on short notice, bypassing the State Department. And if the Russians think we plan to hit them first, won't that make them more trigger happy to strike us first before their weapons are taken out? I don't think it's that simple. People make mistakes. One thing leads to the next, and some scared and confused soldier gets a message, then someone pushes a button. Okay, so it's gonna happen. What do you want me to do about it? It's 1980, Bill. I don't believe we're going to see the end of this century. That's 20 years. That's why I am about to do something. What's something mean? Something big. I can't tell you what it is, or when it's going to happen, or where. I know how this must sound. You go to Cleveland with those scripture-quoting priests, that Father Berrigan, and you come back under this spell, like they got some kind of mind control over you. You want to talk about mind control? Look at the control this government has over everyone. We're all living in denial that the end of the world could ever happen, or that we can do anything to stop it. It's too much, so we've all become psychically numb. But we can act. What are you talking about? I'm trying to tell you. They've asked me to do something more serious than anything I've ever done before, and I will probably, most likely, I will definitely be arrested. Now I know they put something in your Kool-Aid at that retreat. I know this got to do with that priest, Daniel Berrigan. It wasn't just the retreat. I've been working for peace and social justice my whole life, Bill. And yes, Dan is an influence, but so is everything I've been learning and doing all these years. What do you think about my work at the Thomas Merton Center has been about? The protests and marches and candlelight vigils and letters to the editor are not enough now. We're at a crossroads, and I have to decide. Am I going to passively accept the death this government is handing out to me, to you, to our children, or am I going to resist? Look at me like that. Like what? Like I'm off my rocker. I'm not crazy, Bill. Do I look crazy to you? I know what mind control is. I've been in the Marines. First they separate you, then they tell you the same things over and over and over until you think like they want you to. I recognize this. This will be my decision. What's going to happen if you get arrested? There will be a trial. And then what? I could go to jail, to prison. This has got nothing to do with first strike nuclear bombs. This is about our marriage. Oh, this has nothing to do with our marriage, Bill. It has everything to do with it. This is bigger than our marriage, bigger than me or you or what I want and what I would rather be doing. But you can't tell me what it is. I can't tell anyone. This is about what it's always about my not being home every night. Whenever I have a game, I hear the same thing over and over and over. I don't need to go to prison because you've been playing softball for 20 years. But don't I get to relax after working all day? I come home, you're not here, or you're on the phone till midnight, or you're at some meeting. Nobody knows anything about dinner. I've been putting up with this for years. I make dinner. Maybe it's not always on your timetable, but these boys are fed and taken care of every night, and I'm the one making sure their homework gets done. You were just in Cleveland for the whole weekend. Who made dinner then? How many family dinners did you miss because you had a game? When Greg was born, you had a doubleheader. You came to the hospital when it was over. If you want to talk about our marriage, let's talk about it. What is a marriage, Bill? What do you think it is? Two people connected by love, yes, and family, but something else. Purpose. We don't have that. We are like two parallel lines that move along the same track but never meet. Because you will never meet me where I am. You can rant and rave and close your ears to the truth that I'm telling you, but that won't change where I am now. Where are you? You're right here. In 20 years, Greg will be 32. He'll be a young man with a young family. I don't believe he's going to have that future because I don't believe any of us will be alive. All right, Molly, I get it. We gotta stop what we're doing before we blow ourselves up, but why's it gotta be you? Because I know, and because I love you, because I love my family, because I love this world, and if we cross the line, Bill, we won't be able to step back. We'll be gone forever. Listen to me, Molly. I'm listening to my conscience, and my conscience tells me not to act would be a sin. I don't know what kind of mumbo-jumbo they're telling you in that prayer circle, but you're a married woman with kids still at home. No, until you tell me what it is you're planning